I'm Trinidadian. Let's queer up politics. Trump mocked as dumbest person alive after mortgage blunder on Fox News. President Donald Trump is facing intense backlash after displaying a startling lack of basic financial knowledge, this time about how mortgages work. During a Fox News interview with Laura Ingraham, Trump brushed off criticism of a proposed 50-year mortgage, saying, quote, "It's not even a big deal. You go from 40 years to 50. Ingraham quickly corrected him, saying 30. Standard home loans in the U.S. last 30 years, not 40. Extending them to 50 would dramatically increase total interest payments.
Housing costs are still out of reach, and another thing that your administration is trying to tackle, many Americans, the average age of first-time home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad for the country you and I grew up in.
But I inherited that. Look, you have to understand.
Right, but let me get to the question, though, because your housing director has proposed something that has enraged your MAGA friends, which is this 50-year mortgage idea. So a significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging the time it would take for Americans to own a home outright. Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, you go from 40 to 50 years, and what it means is you pay something less. From 30, that some people had a 40, and then now they have a 50. All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time. It's not like a big factor. It might help a little bit. But the problem was that Biden did this. He increased the interest rates, and I have a lousy Fed person who's going to be gone in a few months.
Financial analysts say such a move would saddle homeowners with decades more debt. Social media erupted with ridicule. One post read, quote, "More proof of how stupid Trump is. Dumbest person alive." Another user wrote, "He never pays any of his bills, so of course it's not a big deal to him." Others mocked his long record of being out of touch, referencing his past comments about needing an ID to buy groceries. Critics say Trump's ignorance about mortgages, something most Americans deal with, highlights how disconnected he is from ordinary life. Okay, I was watching this when it came out, and I was thinking, how moronic could this guy get? Like, he's had 10 years to come up with health care, right? And I'm sure because of the stunning loss in the election last week, everybody's been pressuring him. You got to come up with a health plan. You got to come up with a health plan. This sounds like something he scrawled on the back of a cocktail napkin. It was like, well, 50-year mortgages. Let's tell everybody that's the best idea, you know?
This is coming from...
Well, so then the first thing I did was look up what the average mortality rate was for a dude, right? So a guy, it was something like 74, 75, something like that. And I'm like, all right, so if you get a mortgage at 25, let's say you're lucky enough to buy a home at 25, like, right?
No one is.
Right? It's like, all right, well, just as you die, you'll be able to pay off your home, right? And if some reason you are able to get that 50-year mortgage when you're 30, 35, 40 years old, think about when you're passing down as inheritance to your kids, that after you've taken care of your parents, after they've probably gone through whatever savings they've had, now you inherit their house that still has 20 more years of payments on it. I mean, it's just economically disastrous for people to never, be able to be free of this debt. So, I mean, it's a horrible idea, and his MAGA crowd knows it too. Everybody, I really do feel like the crumbling is starting to happen for the first time, even though we've been saying it for years, maybe this time. But I do think that something about when he talks about also the prices of everything was going down in that same interview. Man, I put down my short ribs the other day. It was like $20 when it used to be like $12. I was like, I'm going to eat chicken tonight.
I'm going to eat chicken tonight. Listen, I was happy that this happened on Fox, though. You know what I mean? Just because, with all the misinformation that they're always spewing, I'm glad that it happened on their network. 1, 2, and when in doubt, blame Biden, right? That's like the rule book, no matter what. When in doubt, blame Biden. If the president thinks that a 50-year-old mortgage is no big deal, that's like paying for your car until your great-grandkids inherit it, basically, right? So the average American can barely afford a starter home, and this man doesn't even know how a long mortgage even lasts. So that's not leadership. That's monopoly, okay? That's what it is. And it's scary because this is our president. He's trying to make America great again. And what he's doing is just giving people more debt. I mean, how many of his companies went under? How many times did he file bankruptcy on many companies?
This is dumb, from dumb to dumber. Seriously, this is the guy that told us back in the day that you could clear COVID with bleach.
That's
in
right.
Your
inject
veins.
bleach into you.
Inject bleach.
And people did.
Okay, so this is the guy that went on national television in the middle of a crisis, a health crisis, a world crisis, to tell us that we should inject bleach in our veins. So now what surprises me even more, because I know he's already dumb, is that he's been, praised for being the deal maker and the money man and building a fortune and, owning the New York City. How come he doesn't know the base? He's a real estate mogul, isn't he? How can you not know this basic concept of a mortgage? It's ridiculous.
He made a great deal with Argentina.
Yeah.
When Fox News is fact checking you, it's like, I mean, really, like that's like to me.
She said, "Stop. Let me ask the question."
Yeah, and she was like, also 30.
Can I finish, please?
It's kind of, I mean, something's up. And then the other thing, right, is just to imagine, like, dumb or whatever, like all those things, of course, like, we can repeat all example after example, but out of touch is the part that really gets to me. Because this is, if someone were to, like in this hypothetical case in 25 buy a home, which is almost impossible, like in what median salaries are and with student loans, and it's just, that's not the the 1950s that like, second generations, third generations were promised. It's impossible. And with that being said, right, the only way someone could potentially do that in his hypothetical space is of generational wealth. That's how he did it, right? Like,
and that's what he was going to.
And that's what he's going to.
He was going towards, like, oh, if they inherit there. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Like, this is the part that just boggles my mind, is that what he's talking about is like, no, isn't everyone really rich? Like, and the answer is like, no. Like, and to, one thing is to reap the benefits of generational wealth, and to acknowledge that you reap the generational wealth and those privileges. And another is to just say like, but everyone should catch up. Like, and that's the part that's just so vulgar, is that that's just not the reality for Americans, right? And then to kind of make policy or to propose policy, like, goodness.
Julio, they were saying that college graduates, right, after graduating college, they're staying home for another 7 years. That means a 32-year-old is still at home with their parents because they can't afford to go live out on their own.
And it's not also the math of it. I mean, if you're
the math isn't mathing.
Mortgage the first 20 years, you're like not even really making a dent in the principal.
The math doesn't math.
Crazy.
The math doesn't math. But that's just just problem after
That's his reality.
It's his reality.
Well, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.